Hello, how are you? I'm so glad you're here. In this video, I want to talk a bit about triggers. Now, triggers or being triggered are words that get bandied about a lot today, and people often hear in sort of everyday chat, oh, I was triggered by this, I was triggered by that. It's a bit like people saying I was traumatized by something. It's become very sort of everyday chat. But actually, it can be quite significant for people who have pain or other issues going on. Actual triggers are quite a significant thing that we have to work on because they can be quite a big issue for most people, probably. So, thinking about what a trigger is, a trigger is something that sets off your symptoms, if you like, something that either reminds you of something that's happened in the past or that you associate with your symptoms coming on. Some people might have it as, well, I know that sitting for too long triggers my back pain, or lifting a heavy thing triggers my pain, or if I've had a really busy day, then that triggers my fatigue. But also, interestingly, people will say, oh, such and such a person triggers me, triggers my pain, triggers my migraine, triggers the tension in my neck. And they're making that connection there with actually someone's behaviour is triggering the symptoms, as well as other situations where it's more of a physical action. And sometimes we're aware of these, and other times we're not. And like everything we talk about in these videos, is actually being aware of things that trigger you, things that often lead to your symptoms increasing. Being aware of what those things are and noticing them is a significant factor in learning to improve your symptoms. So again, think about looking at what things you would associate as being triggers for your symptoms. Is it certain postures or positions? Is it certain places? Is it certain people? Is it certain movements? Can you think of situations that you associate with your symptoms coming on? And once you recognise what these different triggers might be, then have another little look and see, well, actually, is that physically causing my symptom? Is it the case that when I sit for more than 10 minutes, that triggers my back pain, that causes my back pain? How does my back know that I can sit for 10 minutes but not 11 minutes? Is that what's triggering my pain? Is it a learned association that we've talked about before? And the same with other people. If somebody triggers certain sensations, if somebody triggers, if you can feel the muscle tension increasing when you're around someone, or you're anticipating having to spend time with people, and you can feel your head getting sore, or migraine coming on, or fatigue washing over you, or whatever it might be, noticing that and looking and saying, well, what is actually going on here? What is it about this situation? What is it about this person that's bringing up these physical sensations in my body? And as I said, awareness and noticing and then responding is the key. So noticing when these triggers are coming up. How are you responding? Are you anticipating? Are you like that with the sitting? Are you saying, is it the learned response? Is it a case of saying, well, I know that this triggers my back pain, so I'm anticipating my pain's going to worsen after sitting for too long or standing for too long, or whatever you may have identified as being a trigger? Is it an association? Because remember, if we're looking for it, then the chances are we're going to find it. Is it more a situational thing? Is it around certain people? But again, what is the association there? If a certain person is causing these triggers, and if they're triggering you, then why is that? What is it about them? And how can you modify that? Again, are you anticipating it happening? Or if it's a chance encounter, but you can feel the sensations coming on, try and reflect back and say, what is it in that person? What is it in that interaction that is causing me to experience these sensations? And do I have to continue to do that? Or is there something I can do that can modify that? Because I don't want to be triggered. Nobody wants to be triggered. It's not a pleasant thing. It's got the again, the connotation of being out of control of something that is happening. to you that you're just along for the ride and there's nothing you can do about it. You're just at the will of these triggers going on in the outside world, and that's not something that we want to be, because we want to be able to say, well, actually, no, I can change how I respond to that. I don't have to continue down that path that I've maybe gone on before. I don't have to continue to have that association there. So just have a think about this. The word trigger can be quite triggering, and again, it's used very commonly these days. It's kind of chucked about all over the place. But for people who are living with persistent symptoms or post-traumatic stress disorder or anything like that, then triggers are quite a significant factor in day-to-day life. Triggers are things that can cause us some issues and that we have to do a lot of work on often. So it's just, again, being aware, what are things that trigger you? Reflect back on them. Is it a learned response? Is it actually a physical response? Is it a learned response? Am I anticipating what's going to happen? If it's in relation to an encounter with a person or you're going to a certain place, then reflect back on what is it about that situation that is causing you to experience these feelings. What is going on there? And see if you can possibly reflect back, maybe through some journaling or just some sitting and quiet thinking. What is it about these situations that are causing your symptoms to arise? And see what you can do. See if you can say, well, actually, can I take a different path here? Do I have to continue to repeat this behaviour? Or is there something different I can do? Okay, I'll leave you at that for now and see you again soon. Bye for now.